I'm just not going to take, okay, this is going to be a bad year for an answer. It's just not even part of an option for me. The next 15 years are going to be looking really good for us because we're just going to ride that wave. And that's when we're going to be really dominating. And when you have value yourself, then you actually could give value to the rest of the world. And then the world's going to give it to you. Because the more you do that, the more money is going to come in. Some secrets to making more money. So I'm going to give you guys 2 of them. I'll tell you guys a story first, maybe then you guys could figure out what the secret is. I was 27 years old when I started this agency. Obviously, when you're a business owner, there's no such thing as base pay. I was just buying leads, spending money on leads, and trying to close them. Back then, the technology wasn't there where you kind of knew where you were as far as your commissions. You had to wait, and I get paid once a month. So at the first of the month, all of a sudden I get how much I made. I'm just waiting and I press refresh and tells me how much I made for that month. So you have no idea where you're at for the whole month.
That sucks.
You kind of know because you're doing the math on the sales you have, but then there's chargebacks and stuff like that, so you just never know. So I remember early on in those years, the whole month I'm nervous, and then I'll just press refresh right when I wake up on January 1st and I see what it was. There were some days where I cried.
Yeah?
Because I put in so much work that month. I would go to apartment buildings and drop off flyers for renter's insurance because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Yeah. And I was buying leads and that was just something that I was new to, so I didn't know what lead companies would buy, so some of them I completely got ripped off. Imagine working your ass off the whole month and then finding out that you actually lost money. And to top it off, I was 27 years old, so when you're 27 years old at that age, you kind of have other interests. But when I started my agency, I wasn't in a position to, take care of somebody else. I wasn't in a position to have a relationship because I feel like, a man should be taking care of, their girl. So I just wasn't able to do that. So I already was thinking, okay, all right, for a few years, I'm probably not going to have a girlfriend. That was the sacrifice I was willing to make. Previously, I've had girlfriends all the way up to that point. To make that sacrifice to say okay, I'm not going to have any girlfriends for a couple of years. It's very difficult at that age when you're male. So, what do you think I'm telling you guys this story?
So where we're at right now.
Focusing on what you wanted to do, basically.
Yeah, focusing on what I want to do, sacrificing for the future. And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about, okay? The biggest difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not is the ability to think long term. The people who are not able to comprehend that concept of delaying my gratification are the ones that struggle. What are some examples of people who just think about the present more than the future?
I've seen it people come in thinking big right away and they don't get it what they want in 2 months or a month.
Mm-hmm.
They already quit or they're not happy,
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to be where I feel like that's something that I would tell Jaylene all the time when she started here, because it was a different environment where she came from. Don't think because I'm doing those numbers, you're gonna do it right away. I've been here for 5 years already, you gotta be patient. And she would be yeah, and she's doing better every month. So I think it's something that you just work yourself and you get better as you go and you get bigger and, but it's good always looking forward to the future,
Yeah, that's a great example. And she's so lucky to have you as a sister and a coworker and a sister to have that ability to let her know that it is going to work out. And I don't know why some people just don't see that or believe that or don't have faith in it, but it goes with everything too. Let's just say what you want to eat right now is you want to have that instantaneous feeling of, I ate something really good, but in the long run, that's not good for you. Or would you rather eat something that maybe does not taste as good, but will help you live 20, 30 years longer and you have more energy? Some people just literally the only plans they make is for this next weekend, whereas other people are making plans for their grandkids' lives. The span of the planning is just so different as far as how short-term and how long-term someone's thinking, and the ones that are able to think long-term is going to make a huge difference. Or a long-term thinker will think, okay, I'm going to wake up in the early, I'm going to get some exercise, and then on Monday I'm going to be ready for work. They're thinking about, and then the next on that check, I'm going to be able to do this, I'm going to invest in real estate. And they're thinking about more long-term things rather than, okay, what am I going to do this Friday night? Or even when it comes to spending money, okay? Maybe short-term it's fun to just go on that shopping spree and just have fun and just spend all that money. Where a long-term thinker may think, okay, in the future, maybe business will slow down, or maybe I'll have this opportunity to buy this property, or maybe real estate will go down, and they'll save that money. Okay, so the ability to save money, to be disciplined, to think long term is really the biggest difference maker. And then if you go really extreme, then you're thinking super short term, then you might think like, okay, and that's how people end up homeless, is because they're not thinking about the future. They just want to get high just right now. They want to have the best experience for a very short period of time. Smart people will sacrifice that short term and then optimize for the long term. Okay, delayed gratification. If you understand that concept, it's going to help you guys out tremendously. And some people will go through their whole life not really understanding how that works, that concept of sacrificing right now for the future. And then when you think long term, and when you start delaying gratification, it helps you stay consistent. What happens when you go to the gym, right? And then you go back to the house and look at the mirror. Did anything happen? Nothing happened. Nothing changed, huh? What about the second day? You go to the gym, you work out hard, and you
come back to the house, breakfast, take the kids to school.
Yeah, but a lot of times people will say like, this clearly doesn't work because I'm not seeing any changes. But the results do come. Yep. And that's the same thing with business. You work hard, you look at your paycheck that month, it's like, oh, nothing really much changed. Obviously, working hard is not worth it. I could just cruise and make the same amount. It's the same thing. Sometimes, a lot of times, we focus on the results too much, but what we want to focus is on the routine. Because if you're focused on the routine, the results will definitely come. I guarantee it. I've seen it over and over in my life. I just do the same thing, the results are going to come, but I'm just focused on the routine more than the results. And that's something that I just want to share with you guys, that in a way, what we're doing this year, believe it or not, is to build for the futures to come for us. All right, so let's start thinking long term. Because my plan is not for us to be doing the same thing over and over again, and you guys making the same amount of money and me making the same amount of money. There's going to be some leaders of this agency taking care of some other people, motivating them, training them. Some of you guys will be writing life insurance very soon, learning new products, writing commercial insurance. Some of you guys will be trainers, some of the new people we hire in charge of training them. There's so many different roles that I just want you guys to start thinking like, okay, long term, what are we going to be doing here? What different roles am I ready to kind of grow into? Because every time I come into, I've been interviewing a lot, and there's just so many people that come to me and they're just like, why are you looking for another job? They always come back with, I don't have an opportunity to grow. I don't have opportunity to grow at my current job. Just like, I hear that all the time. Like Espady was working at an agency where she sold, but she didn't make commission. No. Because she had to hit a certain tier to get paid commission. And then I had another person, same thing, have a license, and then they were selling like, 25, 30 a month, but that doesn't actually get you over the draw. Yeah, so it's like, part of it is because insurance agencies are having tough where there's no commission plan, there's no compensation plan. The only thing was that, this is Calia's friend, but the only thing was like, okay, at the end of the year, you'll get a bonus depending on how you did.
Hourly?
It's just hourly. Until the end of the year, you might get a licensed representatives too. Last December, they're gonna have nothing. Yeah. So anyway, so people come to me, and there's different jobs too, different jobs at the bank and different jobs, and they come to me, okay, I want to grow. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, well, if I do hire, yeah, you grow to a certain point, but at what point are you going to be satisfied? You don't want to grow. Everybody who has that desire to grow, the difference is some people want to keep growing. And I just want us to have that long-term thinking, let's keep growing. To have other things that we could do in this business and to keep growing. And that's kind of what I want you guys to start thinking about too. Now, the second secret to making more money is to think of money as something that you don't make. It's something you actually receive. Okay, how do you receive it? Okay, you receive it by bringing value to the world, by providing something to somebody. Okay, to your clients, to your coworker, to your agency. Because you're giving value to somebody, you're helping somebody out. In return, you're getting the gift of money back to you. So sometimes you're thinking, okay, I'm going to make money, I'm going to hustle hard, I'm going to grind. Well, you have to think, okay, no, I'm actually going to just give out more value to other people, and in return, you're going to get money back. Because it's just energy.
Transfer of energy.
It's just a transfer of energy. You just give out more to the universe. You're just giving out helpful powers to the universe, and then that's how you get more back. But the key...
Now I'm going to be rich at the end of the year.
Yeah, you will be. You're giving out a lot of value to everybody. You really do. That's always, and that confidence is so important when you're thinking that you are too. Because the key here is that why some people don't get to the next level when it comes to money, because it's very difficult to give value to other people when you yourself don't feel you're valuable enough. Like Jazz is the exact opposite. She thinks she's very
I
valuable
think I'm very valuable.
because she loves herself and she honors herself. And when you have value yourself, then you actually could give value to the rest of the world. And then the world's gonna give it to you. Okay, so it starts with yourself first, valuing yourself first. So I just want you guys to love yourself, value yourself, and honor yourself more, because the more you do that, and then the more money is gonna come in. Okay, so let's just start off with taking care of ourselves, self-maintenance, self-love, and taking care of ourselves, because that's really where it all starts. So a lot of times people think, I want to take money from somebody else. You know, that selfish way of thinking of it, that's not the way to do it. You want to value yourself, thinking that I have a lot to offer, come through with that offer of helping the company you work for or the clients you help, and then that's when the money just keeps flowing in. All right, great. So let's get into the situation here, right? So New Year's Blast was a huge success, so we're not going to have that this month anymore. So I'm a little worried about that. And February is also a short month. So I'm thinking about starting Monday, we're going to increase the lead spend a little bit. You know what I want to hear.
I'm sure you guys are here Monday and every day.
Yeah, because I've done that before. I bumped up the lead volume and people didn't show up, and I was like, okay, right back down.
And it kind of sucks for other people that are actually here.
Absolutely. February is also, I don't want to go too far to the extreme where you guys are like, okay, well, you know, I can't take my day off on my daughter's birthday or something like that, or your own birthday and stuff like that. Obviously, we're going to have a very understanding situation here. I want to try to keep the same momentum going from January. But it is going to be a little bit more difficult before it gets easier. The billing plans for farmers is changing for new business. I gave you guys a little heads up about that. So new business, it's either going to be decline, which I think is going to be a decline, or a paying full situation. So it's not going to be easy, but you know that's why we're going to focus on writing these commercial autos, so we could get more appointments, and that's going to help us write more policies. And just like we thought, oh my God, Bristol West going away, what are we going to do? It's just going to be another one of those that we're going to be able to adapt. And then, yeah, it's going to be more difficult. There's going to be like an approval process too, like a waiting period. And this renewal is going to be have a lot of disruption. But anytime there's a little challenge like this, there's always going to be an opportunity. One of the opportunity is that the competition is going through the same thing, and the competition is not marketing, so lead cost is a lot lower. Okay, and it's just more people are going to be shopping. Oh, I got to pay in full. Let me just shop around. Okay, oh, you got to pay in full here too, maybe. But but at least there's going to be a lot of shoppers. Yeah. That's for sure. And maybe we'll have other options for them to have less of, we have more options for them.
So we're not going to have monthly payment option number for farmers?
I think it's going to be 33% down, which is going to be 2 months worth. The monthly is going to be a lot lower. It's all in how, you know, it's a skill game. It's all in how you talk to them, how you present to them, how you make it sound good. Okay, because it's Agent A is offering the same exact payment plan, Agent B is saying the same exact payment plan, but Agent A is just explaining it so much better and making it sound so much more positive and making it sound so good that they'll actually buy it, where Agent B, just the way they're presenting it or just their energy or just the way their vibe is, wouldn't get to sell.
Yeah.
The great thing is that we can control our attitude and how we sound. Maybe we can't control what's going on in the other business, but we definitely can control ourselves. And then commission changes are coming too. So this is more for me, but it could affect you guys obviously too. So we talked about it, but we're gonna have to sell more life insurance to be able to keep the same commission plan we have for auto. What does that got to do with each other? I don't know, but life insurance does make the company money. They definitely do, especially the simple terms. If you write somebody younger, a life insurance policy, the chances of them paying out is very slim. It's like straight money for them. Auto insurance claims all the time. So, okay, farmer's saying, if you write the life, then we'll give you a little bump on the auto, or we won't lower it. Okay, so life insurance is going to be huge. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be able to pay out more commissions for. So that's going to be definitely something that big focus from us starting April. So Jad's is studying, Maria studying, and then Blanca, you're licensed. So that's going to be kind of the situation we're in right now. All right, and the game plan is to write commercial autos. That way we could get that Kemper appointment. That's going to be Laura helping us out with that, and then Jazz is also licensed for that. We're going to start writing more life policies. Okay, we just talked about that. Okay, we're going to keep recruiting. A lot of places are not, because they just feel like this is going to be a bad year. I almost don't like to hear that, because wait, January wasn't our second best month ever. You know, there's just so much negativity out there when I talk to other agency owners from corporate that this is going to be a bad year. They almost feel bad about what's happening right now. Sorry, we had to shut down Bristol West. Sorry about, you know, the commission cuts and then the approval process and the down payment stuff. Sorry. But I could choose to be like, hey, what's the positive here? The positive is that a lot of producers are looking for new jobs because they're not getting paid at the place they are at. Because farmers, at least, they're not going too extreme on the commission cut side. They're making it harder for us to maybe write business, but they're not, you know, like Allstate, they're cutting down the commission so bad that agency owners are literally cutting their producers. In a savage way is that we have less competition now too. People are not going to be able to survive this downturn, but we're well equipped to do so. So when there's less competition, there's more opportunity too. And then we're going to keep marketing too. Like a lot of places are shutting down their marketing. You know, I was talking to Google and we advertise on Google as much as Adriana's now.
That's good.
I haven't even seen Adriana's insurance commercial or
I
anything.
bet it doesn't look as good as what Mo does for
No,
us.
the
though.
girls are not the prettiest. These girls.
That way you can comment to
You know, we're going to keep marketing. Okay, I'm thinking about increasing our lead spend in February or next week. Okay, so that's something that I'm committed to. Is that I'm just not going to take, okay, this is going to be a bad year for an answer. It's just not even part of an option for me. And then this is just something to kind of show you guys. This is not like something new, but maybe it is new for some of you guys. This is a business cycle. So where do you think we are right now as an economy? Are we going up right now? Or are we going down right now?
I think we're going like a little in the peak, kind of going down a little.
Yeah, this is the start.
Yeah.
Okay, and it goes to a recession and goes to a depression. Okay, especially in the California auto market, everyone's thinking like this is getting bad. Next 2-4 years is gonna be bad. Bad. Hard market. Department of Insurance is not letting us give any insurance rate increases, so it's hard to remain profitable, so therefore we don't want to sell insurance because we can't.
You kind of have to sell insurance because people are getting new cars and stuff, so it's kind of like, how's they not going to insure their car?
Someone's got to offer it to them.
Yeah.
Okay, and we just have to be adaptable. We just have to find different ways of presenting it or presenting the value or maybe even offering a different way and letting them know, hey, what we could do for you in the future is this, maybe this in the future, this is what we have for you, helping them out as best we can. And then what's going to go through is the recovery stage, which people are guessing in 2 to 4 years they're going to be a recovery stage. And once there's a recovery stage, there's an expansion phase when everyone's going to be like, woo. And then people right around here are going to be like, man, people are killing an insurance. I want to get an insurance too. But they didn't go through this phase. And they get into it, like maybe some of the newer agency owners, and they're like, oh crap, it's going down? Okay, I can't survive because I've never went through a huge dip like this. So we're going to go through this phase as the economy goes, but I'm not even thinking we're even gonna go down. Okay, for these next 2 years or however long it takes, basically it's just gonna take Department of Insurance to understand that, okay, we gotta start increasing the rates. We gotta let these companies increase their rates, or no one's gonna wanna help out these customers and everyone's gonna be driving around without insurance, and that's just gonna be a mess in California. They're protecting the consumers, but they're not really, because now they're having less options and they gotta pay more down and stuff like that. What's really better is capitalism with a free market where you let the insurance companies raise their rates, and through competition, that's what lowers the rates. Kind of getting into like socialism versus capitalism, but that's basically what's happening here because California is such a democratic state that that's what their thinking is, but in the end, you hurt people by doing that. So basically, we're not even gonna be going down. But then there is gonna be a recovery stage. So these next 2-4 years, you guys are gonna still make a little bit more money. I want you guys to still grow these next couple of years. But then once the expansion hits, when the rate increases are high and auto insurance rates are really high, and all these other companies and all these companies are like, okay, let's start marketing again now, let's start hiring again now. By then, we're gonna be so much far ahead that because the recession, it happened in 2008, and then it actually went down 2022. So that's like almost like, 14 years expansion? So we go through these next 2-4 years, the next 15 years are going to be looking really good for us because we're just going to ride that wave, but we're going to have a head start of going through that wave. And that's when we're going to be really dominating. Okay, so we got to think long term here. So considering everything that's happening outside the world, I feel super blessed. I feel super positive, super fortunate that we're in this situation where we could still make money even when it's supposed to be tough. Like, this is tough. I can't wait till it gets good. So I just want to share with you guys, okay? I want to grow. I don't care what's going on with the DOI. Okay, people are making those excuses like all over the place. The DOI, the DOI. Like there's some truth behind that, but I don't care. Like I still want to grow. I don't care what's going on with the economy. The economy is bad. Like everybody has new cars, and there's cars like
The most packed. The most packed.
People are spending money. Maybe they shouldn't be spending the type of money they are, but it's just the way the world goes. Is that people just cannot control
And I
themselves,
feel like as it goes, people figure it out.
and that's what we're
When
doing.
it went up, oh, okay, well, fuck, what we're gonna do?
Just.
Our plan is to keep on growing, okay? Now, I don't even care how much I make this year. When it was peaking last year, I kind of had a feeling eventually it's going to go down.
Me too, you know why? Because it was too good.
Mhm.
Like, we were like on a roll, you know?
Yeah. So that's another thing for you guys that maybe haven't gone through the business cycle is that when things are really going good, don't start popping those bottles.
There's no bottle popping for your birthday. Sorry. We have the same.
Beer.
We can get a 12 pack.
I had a feeling last year. I was like, I had some urges too, like, okay, maybe, you know. But, you know, being responsible and knowing pattern recognition of like, okay, things, seeing the future. It's like playing chess, like, okay, this move's gonna happen, probably this move's gonna happen. So I'm really happy that I didn't go crazy last year and spend money on unnecessary things, so we could be in a position to make some sacrifices and keep you guys fed. All right, so I'm willing to pay the price today so I can pay any price in the future. All right, that's kind of the theme of this meeting is, so let's pay our dues here. Even though paying our dues doesn't seem that hard right now because we're still off to a great month, but no matter what happens this year, we're gonna just be able to give value to
Survive.
people. Yeah, and I think we're gonna be able to thrive. We're gonna keep providing value. I'm gonna be working on things to make us adaptable, finding new things. The commercial auto could be a big one too. Okay, because that's a really good premium, and that loss ratio was not as bad. Okay, so maybe we'll get more people getting licensed on the PNC. Life insurance could be a lot of premium too. We can make a lot of money doing that. Being adaptable is so important, and I'm just gonna be willing to try different things for you guys out, figure out a game plan so we can not only survive but thrive, and put in the work today for a better future for our families tomorrow. You guys ready?
Sounds good.
All right, let's get it. I got one. I got one.